So the title of the, I'm trying to be consistent. So here I am showing up being consistent. The title of the live says, why do bad things always happen to me? Fair question, right? Lots of people say, oh, actually, let me rephrase it. You ever catch up with any of your friends and all they want to do is dump all this shit on you? And, you know, oh, this has gone wrong and this has gone... I don't actually have that problem too much anymore. Most of my friends go, oh my God, if this is happening and it's amazing, I'll get to that point in a second. But do you ever have those friends that rock up and they go, oh, yeah, you ask them how they go, oh, it's terrible. Things are really bad. Things aren't going very well at all. I do have one of those friends. And we have these conversations and I slap them. And metaphorically, of course, slap them because I'm not a violent person. But anyway, I digress slightly. Have you ever wondered why shit continues to turn up in your life? Why things always look to be bad? It's all about focus. What are you focusing on? Now, you can still be a really, really positive person and focus on the wrong stuff and have bad things turn up in your life. It really is that simple. And I say that from experience because I'm pretty much a very positive person. You ask anyone that knows me would say, oh man, you're always so positive, you're always doing this, you're always doing that. Well, this is true. I still had been through some pretty dark times, as most people have, but it was where my focus was. What was I focusing on? What was the conversations that I was continually having with myself? Now, I remember speaking with a mentor of mine years and years and years ago who had great success, multi-millionaire inside the network marketing space or the direct sales space. And I said, mate, what's the secret? And he goes, there's no secret. He said, you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. You got to find the balance. Now, I don't like the word balance. I like to use the word harmony because I think balance is a little bit of a myth. But it came down to if I can sum it up in a conversation, I will. Now, I've written this in the last book that I wrote, and it's not a new story. It's just a parable or a fable it's a parable that really highlights things. Now, you might have heard the story about the two wolves. The Indian boy talking to his elder saying, Papa, I have this battle going on inside of me with two wolves. One's a negative one and one's a positive one. He said, which one will win? And Papa says, the one that you feed, which is pretty fair, right? The one that you give attention to is going to win. But and most people go, oh, yeah, that's great. And they get an aha moment from that, which is cool. That's great. No problem at all. You get that aha moment, focus on the positive, and you get more of that turn up in your life. But here's the thing with that. Most people don't understand. You actually need both of them in your life. You need the negative and the positive. For a little bit of comparison. Now, comparison's the thief of joy. I'll give you that. So use it sparingly. However, what you want to find is you want the positive talk to outweigh the negative stuff. So you want it to be slightly more in favor of the positive stuff, and then more positive things will start to show up in your life. And here's how it turns out in practice. What you're looking at, if you have things going on, what is the internal dialogue that you continue to have with yourself? What are the things that you say on a daily basis? Now, most of the things that we say on a daily basis, most of the internal dialogue that we have is all unconscious. It's all unconscious. So what does that mean? Well, it means you're not really aware of what you're saying. So until you can become aware of it, you can't really fix it. Now, that's not to say you can't become aware of it very fast and you can't fix it very fast. However, that is essentially what you need to do. You need to look at, okay, these are the things, you've got to become aware of when you're saying them. You've got to become aware of when these things turn up and you go, I'm talking about this. This is the language that I'm using myself. Once you're aware of it, then you can go, right, if that's the case, how can I look at this or think about this in a different way to have a different result, or look at it so it provides a different result for me? There's another live that's coming up throughout the week probably about how two people can have the same circumstances and a completely different experience. We'll get onto that, but it relates to this. You've got to be aware of the conversations that you're having with yourself. You've got to be aware of the conversations that you're having with other people. When you are, then, and only then, can you start to balance out those scales. Only then can you start to have all good things happening in your life rather than just the bad stuff. Because even when the bad things show up, when the bad things happen, the way in which you look at them, talk about them, and react to them has a massive, massive bearing on the outcome that you can create from it. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys this morning. Showing up, being consistent. Love yous all. Ka kite anō. Talk soon.